My name is Ann Bowen, and I'm here to talk about a book called To Be a Rose that was written by my husband, Edmund Mason. It's his story of going to Afghanistan and his recovery and return back from that trip. He developed a debilitating disease and spent 3 months in intensive care, and his recovery was difficult and yet inspiring at the same time. Ed went over to Afghanistan to be an advisor, and basically he was advising two of the former warlords that were now Afghan generals as they tried to build the Afghan army. He was there approximately 2 months before he became severely ill. In fact, was so short of breath he could not complete a sentence. He very much was interested in learning about new cultures and experiencing it, and had spent quite a number of years different places throughout the Middle East and Europe while he was in the military. This is a picture of Ed about 6 months before he died. It's taken in 2011. This was in St. Croix, U.S. Virgin Islands. He had lost half of his body weight and had recovered some of that, but he continued to have ongoing lung and other internal organ dysfunctions. The book is broken up into 3 sections, really, and the longest section is the dream. And that's when he becomes very critically ill and is actually unconscious and on a ventilator. He doesn't realize all of that at the time. He can hear some, he's somewhat aware of his surroundings some of the time, but it was also very terrifying to him. His experience in Afghanistan forever changed his life. He went from being a healthy, early 50s-year-old man to having absolutely terrible health with collapsed lung, 3 chest tubes coming out of his chest wall. He was unable to walk. He couldn't hold a pencil. He had difficulty just reading a book. All of that affected him, and he worked very hard to recover from those problems. One of the scenes that I liked was the airplane discussion where he's flying to Afghanistan from Dubai, and he's describing the goat that was tied up in the back of the passenger compartment. And the goat was experiencing, I guess, some air pressure differences as they were landing and was headbutting everybody. I mean, it's a very comical story, but very typical of that area. He describes things in terms of what he sees, what he smells, what he hears, and you feel like you're there. You feel like you're there in Kabul. I also think he did a nice job with conversation between people. He shows some people with very colorful personalities, I'll say, and makes it a comical but good read. I think the story really is about personal will. So he was very positive and continued, despite people telling him he was going to be in the hospital for a year and in rehab longer than that. He said, 2 weeks before Thanksgiving, I'm going home. And he did. The book is called To Be a Rose because he had a long fondness of roses from growing up. His mother had rose gardens, but he has roses throughout. And in Kabul, the roses were so brilliantly beautiful in all colors in such a godforsaken place. It was just such a contrast. So, I mean, the rose keeps coming back and you keep reading about it.